You don't need more time and you don't need more motivation. What you need is to stop standing in your own way. Some of the limits that you face aren't real. There's stories that you keep repeating to yourself. Stories like you're not ready, or you don't have enough experience, or somebody else is doing it. But those are just stories and they're not real. I know it's easier said than done, but you have to start believing in what's possible for you, even if you don't have all the proof yet. Because the goals that you've set, those goals don't need a version of you that's perfect. They need a version of you that is committed. A version of you that's committed to taking the first step, even if it's a little shaky, even if it's a little off, because it might be, and that's okay. The only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is a version of you that's scared to take the first step. So let's change that today. You're gonna start by getting out of the dream loop. The dream loop is a mental cycle. It's when you get stuck thinking about the dream instead of working towards the dream. And it starts by you imagining this big goal for yourself or vision, and you get really excited and you start planning it, only in your head though. Maybe on Pinterest, you might make a little vision board, but most of the planning is in your head. You fantasize about how it'll feel when you hit the goal, and you start making tweaks to this plan without even taking action. We've all been there. And you continue to wait for the perfect time to start and the perfect amount of motivation to get started as well. The thing is, you start getting this rush of dopamine from planning, from fantasizing, without even putting in much work, without even getting started, without even putting in any action. And that's the problem, because you start getting the feeling of being successful without actually taking the steps towards this big goal. And here's the thing, your plan might be amazing. It might be the best plan in the world, but it's nothing without taking action. And being stuck in the dream loop is only going to give you the satisfaction of feeling like you hit the goal without actually hitting it. And over time, you're going to get yourself into a depressive state because you've spent so much time in the dream loop and less time living the actual dream. So what we need to do is get you from point A to point B. But before that, we're gonna talk about why you keep putting yourself in the dream loop. Your actions are only going to be as strong as your belief in yourself. And subconsciously, you don't have much belief in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself or your abilities, your actions are going to follow suit. The thing is, you might be fearful, but you can't outplan fear. You can keep planning and planning and planning, but if you don't work on that fear, you're not gonna push past it. And I do wanna say this, your fears are valid, but there's a difference between weighing out the pros and cons and actually starting and stopping the planning process and moving into the dream loop and moving out of the dream loop into a depressive state because you haven't started, and then repeating that cycle over and over again. Dream loop, depressive state, etc., etc. So that leaves me to believe that you are not speaking enough life into yourself. You are not telling yourself that you are capable of these things every single day. You're not writing out your goals and writing out why you deserve to push through and why you deserve better in life. You do not have enough belief in yourself to push past this boundary. Also, you're letting negative thoughts take up too much mental space. Think of your brain like this. We only have so much mental energy every single day before we're over it, before we don't have enough mental energy to give at the end of the day. We all know the feeling. But if you are constantly letting negative thoughts fill up your mental energy, you're not going to have enough belief in yourself to actually push past boundaries. So you have to stop letting negative thoughts take up too much of that mental space in your brain every single day. And lastly, the one that most people deal with is that they're waiting for others to validate them before they take action, which is very dangerous. You need to stop waiting for others to validate you, and you need to validate yourself. You need to, like I said before, give yourself that pep talk every single day. Write out why you deserve things. Tell yourself why you deserve better for yourself every single day. You need to stop waiting for people to cheer you on. Stop waiting for people to be your biggest fan, because those people that you're waiting to cheer you on might not show up. And that's okay, because your belief in yourself needs to be stronger than anybody else in this world. Your belief in yourself needs to be the strongest. So that is why you keep putting yourself in the dream loop, because you do not believe in yourself, and you need to change that. So how we're actually going to get the ball rolling is to shift from fantasy to framework. We're going to start by laying out the framework. You need to answer the question, how is this going to change your life? You need to figure that out first and foremost. This is going to help you figure out if you actually have the capacity for this. Most of you do, but you need to really look at your life and what's going on in all the moving pieces and see if this is actually something that you can pursue right now. A great example is if you're going back to school and you have young children, you need to figure out childcare for them while you're in your classes, or figuring out who's picking them up from school while you have late night classes, whatever it is. Figuring out the logistics with that, whether you have family, a friend who can pick them up, a daycare that you trust, whatever it is, figuring out those logistics right now is going to help you move that fear to the side. And once you figure that out, you need to move that to the side and move on. You can't continue to get stuck on it. You can't let guilt overcome your emotions. You have the plan in place. Let's move on, okay? Because this is just a short season, which we'll talk about that later. But figure out all the logistics in your life first, and then move on from there. Next, you're going to build a reputable system that you can follow day to day, even when your motivation dips, because it can and it will. You can do this by creating a checkpoint system, either in your phone, in your notes sheet. I even have a video here on YouTube where I shared how to create a habit tracker through Excel. You can even download a habit tracker, whatever it is. Having a checkpoint list filled with all of the reputable systems that are going to take you from point A to point B is really important. These systems are the habits that are going to help you become who you want to be. So if you're trying to go back to school, there's a long list of things that you have to do to even get started with going back to school, right? For you to even get accepted into a school, right? So start off with that checklist, everything that you need to do, and start taking action from there. And as you are taking action, you're going to be able to go in there and check things off. You talked to an admissions counselor, check. You sent in your transcripts, check. Filled out your FAFSA, check. That is you actually taking action. And that action is going to build momentum for you to keep going, for you to actually become who you want to be. There's something that is just so satisfying about checking things off. It just makes you feel so accomplished. It makes you feel like you're doing the dang thing. And I also have a video that I made years ago, how to build a routine. I'll put it right here. I gave tips on how to be more organized, especially if you're starting a new goal. Because here's the thing, you have to be organized because you're either adding new habits to your already existing habits or you're replacing habits in your life. And that can be tricky. And if you are not organized, your life is going to feel so chaotic, so crazy, and you need organization to the T. It's going to help you move in life easier, and it's going to help your children transition a lot easier too. You need organization. The thing is, not everybody uses their calendar every single day. Not everybody needs a checklist system every single day. Over time, you're going to become so grounded in these habits that you don't even need the checkpoint system anymore, that you don't even need your calendar anymore until you fall off, but we'll talk about that later. But until you don't need your calendar anymore, and until these new habits and this new goal becomes your new normal, until you are living in the dream and not in the dream loop. So a reputable system, a checklist system is really going to help you be organized and move from point A to point B a lot more effectively. So now you're moving from dream loop to action loop because you're taking action in your life and you're actually becoming the person that you want to become. Now, one thing that's going to happen is as you're taking action, you're going to start feeling a little insecure at times. Right? You're gonna feel some insecurities come through. You don't have as many people really rooting you on. There's gonna be days where you start to feel fatigued. There's gonna be days where you don't believe in yourself, etc. But one of the biggest limiting beliefs that comes up a lot of times is the fact that the only way for you to get where you want to be is by struggling through it. And I want you to remember this. You do not need to struggle to get where you want to be. It is okay that you might have a little help. It is okay that you might be breezing through this goal. The thing is, you don't need to deserve the life that you want to have it. You don't need to struggle through it. You don't need to deserve it. It's yours. So keep working towards the person that you want to become every single day. Don't let the limiting beliefs start growing bigger and bigger, because it's only going to make you creep back into becoming the old version of you. And you don't need that for yourself. And I do want to say this. Yes, some of these goals are going to have to come with a little bit of work and a little bit of sacrifice. But just know that this is only a season. It's a season of sacrifice. And before you know it, the sacrifices that you're making that felt so hard at one point are just going to become the new normal. It's just going to become your life. The guilt is going to fade over time once you start getting closer to the end goal. The guilt is going to phase once you start getting closer and closer to the end of the program that you started 2 years ago, right? You're almost done. That season of sacrifice is about to be over, and you're about to be able to give yourself and your family or your future family a better life. Just know the season of sacrifice is just that. It's a season, and it will pass very quickly. And you're going to be able to look back on all of the sacrifices that you made and be so proud of how far you've come once you complete that goal, once you're living the dream life and not in the dream loop. And lastly, make it a lifestyle, not a project, because you are not a self-improvement project. You need to shift from working towards this thing to this is me. This is who I am. I am somebody who works hard. I am a student. I am an athlete. I am X, Y, and Z. I am an entrepreneur. I am a top 1% mom. I am all of these things. Shift from you working towards it to it actually being yours, because it is yours. You are taking action and you are moving towards becoming the person that you want to be. It's yours. So shift your mindset from that. And I do want to say this before we close out this video. You might get started with something and you might realize that it's not for you. You might realize somewhere down the line, once you start taking the action and working towards it, that it's not for you. And that's okay too, because at least you took the time to get started. At least you honestly put yourself out there. You took action instead of just thinking about it, instead of just planning for it. You actually took action, you tried it out, and you realized it wasn't for you. And there's nothing in life that is wasted. You have to remember that. Nothing in life is wasted. Just take the things that you learned from this season of your life and apply it somewhere down the line. And I also want to say, if it doesn't work out, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and pursue something else, because you should, because you only have one life to live. And if you spend it being scared of pursuing things because you failed at one thing, then you're never going to move forward. So for me, I used to have a clothing brand a few years ago. Shout out to anybody who remembers, but it was pretty successful at the time and I sold out several launches, but I realized somewhere down the line that it just wasn't for me. Wasn't the path that I wanted to take. And I knew that I had something else that I wanted to pursue. I just didn't know what. I did know what I wanted to pursue. I am pursuing it now, but I didn't know where it was going to take me. And I didn't know how I was going to get where I wanted to get. And I was scared to let go of this big thing to pursue something that wasn't even where it needed to be. But I did. I let go of that. I took what I learned from that. And one day, hopefully, I'll start another business that aligns with who I am today. But I didn't look at that failure and think, oh, I'm not going to be able to follow through with this. I'm not going to be able to grow this. I have. It's because I let myself. And I gave myself the opportunity to try new things. I gave myself the opportunity to walk away from something and to pursue something else. And I'm going to continue doing that throughout my life because I can. You need to give yourself the chance as well. Get out of your own head, because your only limit is you. And you need to get out of your own way. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. Please let me know if anything resonated with you down below. I love doing videos like this. They're really inspiring to me because I feel like I go through a lot of things myself mentally, emotionally, and it really does help me push past boundaries when I write these things out. So I'm going to be leaving all my socials down below. Follow me on all my other socials if you'd like to keep up with me in my day-to-day life. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, Girl Scout. Bye.